أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا أقسم بهذا البلد وأنت حل بهذا البلد ووالد وما ولد لقد خلقنا الإنسان في كبد. Surah Balad 35 in Revelation after Surah Qaf, according to an opinion. It is 90 in the Mus'haf after Surah Fajr. So the ulama say this is from early period as well in Mecca, where the criminals, they made the persecution, the abuse of Muslims halal on them. So this is the situation, and this will come later on. You know, in Mecca it's called Haram, yeah? Because all sorts of persecution, all sorts of harms and things like that, it is forbidden. Even the trees or animals, you're not allowed to harm, yeah? This is the situation of the Haram. However, these criminals reached this stage where this custom that they had, this amazing belief that they had right from the beginning, at this stage they gave it up and they did what they did. Inshallah, we'll discuss this in the surah itself later on. But this surah is actually the other half, or basically the last few ayats. Ya ayyuhan nafsul mutma'innah, which we did in Surah Fajr, that is actually explained in this surah. How would you be able to attain this nafs mutma'innah? Is to look at this surah and implement the ways, the paths, the behavior, the attitude that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants from you. So once that's been implemented in your life, you will get nafsi mutma'innah. Okay. Now what is the claim of the surah? Basically you are encouraged to do good labor and discouraged from evil labor. You are laboring either way, but instead of doing a criminal one, instead of doing that which is forbidding in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, do that which is right. And it will be explained later on. Now to break down the surah, look at the surah. So from ayah 1 to 4, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala encourages human to do good labor. Ayah number 4, لَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ فِي كَبَدٍ. And for that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bring two witnesses, which is لا أقسم بهذا البلد and ووالد وما ولد. These two are the witnesses, ayah 2, 1 and 3 basically. So these have been come to show the importance, to show that this message that has been given out to you, it is serious one. Ayah 5 to 7, and here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives reprimand to those people who do evil labor. And the reason for that, these people who have got this evil trait, there are two issues that they have got concerning Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. One is that they do not believe that that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is capable, meaning His qudra. This is happening in ayah number 5. And the other one is that they do not think that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is all knowledgeable basically. So they have concerns, or they have some sort of defects in their behavior. This is happening in ayah number 7. So basically what this results in, instead of when Allah gave them honor, Allah gave them wealth, Allah gave them so many things, instead of them giving it to other people, instead of lending it, because this is the right of the wealth, that it needs to be spent on the weak. You need to look after the one in the society and things like that. This is the right of the people over you. It is not something that is a good deed. It is actually a right. It is haqq of the miskin. It is a haqq of the weak, the poor around you. If you have wealth, you must spend on it. It is not whether you do it is a good thing, and if you don't do it, you're not going to be held accountable. You will be held accountable if people there around you, like it comes in various hadith, yeah, that if in your locality someone goes to sleep while they're hungry, you will be questioned with regards to it, yeah, like your neighbors and things like that. So it is a requirement. It is not something that you choose to do and may not do so. But here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saying that those people, when they are told that why don't you spend, they will come back that they have already spent a lot and things like that. So in response, we will discuss that part. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, don't they consider that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala already know? You either spend in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala which is appropriate with Allah. Like you can spend in milad, you can spend on julus, you can spend on mulvis, you can spend on peers and things like that. But you think this is something religious, You might think this is something valuable, but no, it's not. So either you think that Allah subhanahu does not know, or either you think that Allah subhanahu does not have capability to bring you to accountability, to bring you and hold you accountable. So these two things, you will have a person they will have a problem in their belief, basically, the tawheed. Either the knowledge of Allah, meaning Allah does not know, that's why they have to say it with their tongues, that's how they have to do this PR stunt, or they think that what they have spent, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not going to hold them accountable for the types of wedding that they have spent it on and things like that, because this is type of spending, and they will hint at that they have already spent so much, they have already spent on such heads, like the orphans in the weeks, they will say like this in this kind of fashion, meaning Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows, but you have problem in your aqidah. Ayah 8 to 10, in here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned four things, four blessings that Allah has done on every single human being that should have been used for you to recognize that which is good labor and that which is evil labor. Ayah 11 to 18, in here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives good things which are related to good labor. How many things? 6 good things that are related to good labor, meaning you should do these. This should be your goal. And 19 to 20, the last two ayats, in here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give fear of akhirah to the worshipper of dunya, to the worshipper of their whims and desires, those people who are rock-hearted, basically. Now, to link the surah, this requires you having full brains and looking at the Quran instead of doing any other chore. So these, we will link the last 3 ayats with the first 3 ayats of لا أقسم بهذا البلد. So how it will happen? Let me just tell you the ayat first, So ارجعي إلى ربك راضية مرضية. We will link that with the first ayat, لا أقسم بهذا البلد. Then فادخلي في عبادي, that this will be وأنت حل بهذا البلد. وادخلي جنتي will be ووالدي وما ولد. Does that make sense? So this starting from ارجعي إلى ربك, this will be the first ayah, and then we continue the second. Who understood this? Who didn't understand? Okay, good. So you are there, mashallah. Concentrate, because this will be a bit difficult. And there is a hikmah in it, the way I'm saying it, So inshallah, it will be helpful for you to even understand the entire surah. So, first, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala takes oath on Makkah, لا أقسم بهذا البلد, this very city, basically. Where we go for Hajj. This is a place of Hajj. So, O Muslim, turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and fulfill your duties. And you'll do that sincerely. You'll do that with love. What does that result in? Radiyah here, that you are content with Allah, which is the irji'i ila rabbiki, radiyah. In the akhirah, but here you go to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, like we said the hadith, that if you love to meet Allah, Allah loves to meet you, Does that make sense? Where are we coming from? So you are content with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this dunya. You do everything, for His pleasure, no matter what kind of situation comes in, but you are standing up for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Meaning you are radiyah, you are happy with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What's going to happen in return? Allah will be happy with you. So mardiyah, radiyatan mardiyah. So the first ayah is linked with the ayah 28, of Surah Fajr. The next ayah, which is talking about Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his struggles. In وَأَنْتَ حِلٌّ بِهَذَا الْبَلَدِ. We'll discuss that later on. But as we said, like Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his people's torture became halal for them. Even though, even harming animals, even harming trees and things like that, in that vicinity, in that thing, was haram. They considered that to be haram. They considered that to be crime. Even if their father's killer was in Mecca, in Haram, they would not touch the guy. This was the situation, this is the honor that they gave. But they made it halal on Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam people. They used to do whatever they used to do, even in Mecca, in the Kaaba, in front of the Kaaba. So this is the situation of the people at the time. Okay, so the second ayah, وَأَنْتَ حِلٌّ بِهَذَا الْبَلَدِ, talking about Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam struggle, basically. So what that results in us, that we will stand up, we will hold on to every single thing that is honor for Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we consider that honor for us. And anything that is dishonor of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his path, it will be dishonor for us. So we follow his example. He will be our practical example. What's going to happen? Look at the second last ayah. فَدُخُلِي فِي عِبَادِي. Enter, you will join The people, the servants of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, meaning you will be able to join Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Does that make sense? How it's linked? Last ayah. Talking about all humanity. وَوَالِدِ وَمَا وَلَدِ. Either you are a son or you are a father. Yeah, you give birth or you're given birth to, basically. Yeah. So this is talking about all the humanity. So this path that has been sent, it is sent for all the people. Whoever follow this path, yeah, then for them is the Jannah, which is the last part. وَدُخُلِي جَنَّتِي. You will enter Jannah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala hasn't made any sort of racist policies, yeah, that it will be only Arabs, non-Arabs not going to be going there, or it's going to be these pink people that will be going there and not the purple people and things like that. Yeah, it is not that situation. As long as you have got the condition fulfilled, yeah, you have got the UK nationality, you can do whatever you can do in the UK then, yeah, basically you have all the rights. Same thing, you have got the nationality, which is you have come in the fold of Islam, you have lived under the conditions, for you is Jannah. You will go to Jannah, like how everyone else will be going, no matter from where it started, all the way from, right from the beginning till whatever the dunya going to be. As long as they are under this condition, they are all going to فَدُخُلِي جَنَّتِي. Is that understood? The three ayats are linked in that fashion, and we can do the linking in so many different ways. Yeah, we have already done the linking previously in the previous surah, where we said Surah Fajr is basically talking about the disorder of the people. And now, so La Aqsam bihadha al-balad has come to tell you reform, how to reform the people, how to come back to your senses, basically. And from them we can do one more link, and then we will move on. In the previous surah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about the rebellious of other nations, Thamud, Aad, Fir'aun, and in here it's talking about the current. So it is our rebellious, or another one which we have done already. Yeah? In there it's talking about awqat. وَالْفَجْرِ وَلَيَالٍ عَشْرٍ وَالشَّفْعِ وَالْوَتْرِ. Yeah, talking about the awqat. Now in here it's talking about a'mal, your deeds. فَكُّ رَقَبَةٍ أَوْ إِطْعَامٌ فِي يَوْمٍ ذِي مَسْغَبٍ, and so on. Yeah, so it's talking about the deeds. So what do you need to do in these awqat? Are these good deeds? Does that make sense? So it gives you a full image of what you're meant to do, or it is a full image of universe, basically, time and place. Yeah. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of Allah, the one who has given clear path of guidance and misguidance, which happens in وَهَدَيْنَاهُ النَّجْدَيْنِ. Ar-Rahman, the entirely merciful, He has protected the wealth of human from destruction. Ar-Rahim, the especially merciful, He has allowed His pious servant to فَكُّ رَقَبَةٍ, to break through the hard path, the difficult path, and protect them from shu'um, which is ill-fated, which is happening in later on. We'll discuss that. Going to the first ayah. لا أقسم بهذا البلد. I swear by this city, i.e. Mecca, or another translation will be, no, I swear by this country or city in brackets. Now, we have already mentioned la applies to various things. Yeah, it could mean haqqa, mean verily, or could mean no. But in here it stands from no straight away. So what is the negating, basically? What is the thing that's happening? So they link it in two different ways, and we will link it in two different ways as well. Yeah, one they link it to the previous surah, and the other one they link it with the current surah, meaning what is happening later on. So if you link it to the previous surah, what was the main essence that was happening in there? Where people saw honor in? Who remembers? Where did they saw honor in? Wealth. Yeah. If they were given wealth, they said فَيَقُولُ رَبِّي أَكْرَمًا. If they had lots of money and things like that, this Allah has honored us and things like that. We got this, yeah, we got these many shops that we have bought on mortgages, and mashallah, they're spreading. Allah has honored us, and He's keep on giving us, and we are spreading, and we are making so many shops, and we have opened so many orphanage houses as well, and so on. Yeah, so they see honor in the wealth, basically. And if the wealth is taken away, they will say فَيَقُولُ رَبِّي أَهَانًا, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has disgraced me if the wealth is taken, meaning the criterion was wealth. Yeah, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying in here, they link it to that, la, no, it is not like that. It is not judged by this, and it has already happened in there. The criterion is not wealth, it is your behavior, your situation with Allah subhanahu, meaning your taqwa is the criterion. يا أيها الناس إنا خلقناكم من ذكر وأنثى وجعلناكم شعوبا وقبائل لتعارفوا إن أكرمكم عند الله أتقاكم. The one who is honorable with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who is more cautious in the duties of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is the criterion basically. But those capitalist kind of mentality people, they see the owner in the wealth. Same thing, people see owner nowadays, yeah? Superpower of the world are those people who have wealth. People are respected and they are given extra respect and they are like kind of bow to if they have wealth. They are given special seats in the gathering, in the events if they have wealth. Yeah, someone like Imam Sahib, you're giving bayan and things like that, a wealthy person comes in, the thing will change, the tune will change, making sure that maybe he does not talk about something which is related to mortgages or something which this guy does haram. Yeah, so the tune, everything will change. So meaning, people see, no matter who they are, they see honor in the wealth, which is wrong. It is not. Inna akramakum indallahi atqakum. So this is la, meaning no, no, no. And the other no, it is related to لَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ فِي كَبَدٍ. That every single human being will do struggle. You will struggle and someone else will struggle. Yeah, it does not mean that your struggle will be like the same as someone else's basically. It will have different results. You are working towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the other is working for different purposes. Maybe two people will be standing in the same row. Yeah, maybe one will be the imam, the other one will be musalli, but the imam will have a different reason standing there, yeah, for other purposes, and the one who is standing behind will have a different. Both are doing labor, yeah, both are struggling, both are working, but are they equal? No. One is for Allah, the other one is for something different. So meaning no, they are not the same. And in here, just to keep it with the same surah, like we said, this is a pair of which surah? La Uqsim. Pair. They're like together, group. It's Fajr, Surah Fajr. Yeah, Surah Fajr and La Uqsimu, they are together. In there was a unique way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala taking oath. So oaths are taken and then you are told, هَلْ فِي ذَلِكَ قَسَمٌ لِذِي حِجَرٍ. Are there anything for the people of perception, people of intelligence in these oaths? Meaning the oaths are taken, you should automatically ponder why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying something. Then He tells you directly, is there anything in those? Meaning you should ponder over it. Same thing is happening, like the oath is already the balad itself, but it says la uqsimu. In this, Allah takes oath. I mean the oath word has been mentioned by itself instead of like wal asr, yeah, wal asr, by asr. Okay, or like there's so many other places that come. Yeah, like wal fajr we have recently done. The oath has not been mentioned, but he says la uqsimu qasam de, yeah. So this has been mentioned. So same thing, meaning it shows there are emphasis. It shows that this is really important that you ponder over these things. And why Makkah? Yeah, basically. Now we need to ponder over that. La uqsimu bihadha al-badal, mentioning the Makkah itself. So this Mecca itself, they are not some ordinary town from anywhere around the world. It is very special. This is the central of Tawheed. Like this is the hub of Tawheed. This was the reason that it was built for Tawheed. Yeah. So if any people of any town, anywhere in the world, that had to grab onto the message of Quran, the message of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you should be first in the line basically. Yeah, everyone else has sufficient signs around them. They can look at the universe, they can look at their own self, they can look at the management system of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created in every single thing. They can come to conclusion. But you have been given special privileges. You have Hajar Aswad in front of you, you go Zamzam in front of you, you go this house in front of you. You recognize the 4 months, the sacred months. You recognize the sanctity of this place and so on. You have already seen the blessings that Allah has given in لأصحاب الفيل and so on. You have seen so many things with regards to this house. And you know who it is. So when you were to ask them, وَلَئِنْ سَأَلْتَهُمْ مَنْ خَلَقَ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضَ لَيَقُولُنَّ اللَّهُ. They know who Allah is. But still on top of that, you go against Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How ungrateful you are basically. And how do you link that with ourselves now? We are not living in Mecca, so how is it related to us? You can just ponder over the Quran and you can come to your own conclusion. You, us people who understand things of the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, are far more better than those people who are living in villages, those people who have gone past us, maybe like 20, 30, 40 years ago. You can understand the gene system, you can understand the universe, you can understand the oceans, you can understand so many things. You ponder over these amazing designs and these the way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have fine-tuned things. And then you will come back to that conclusion that there is a creator. The thing that has here, that we see in front of our eyes, it is just not possible that it has come from somewhere, nowhere basically. Yeah? It has to have somewhere basically. So you can ponder over these things. Allah has given you this capacity. Allah has given you these special privileges that other people didn't have. So is it not going to be more ungrateful of those people who understand, who have more knowledge of dunya, than those people who are like backwards in a sense, meaning they haven't read a science book, or they haven't read anything about your body, your doctor things, yeah, they don't know anything about that. So you are more honored in that fashion. You understand more. Most of you will have learned these things in GCC and things like that, yeah, that you look at the universe, the way we talked about the stars and the distances in the universe. So you should be able to recognize your master better. You should be able to connect with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala more easily. Does that make sense? Is that understood? So you can link the Quran in any way, the way you like, yeah, but as long as it brings you back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, going further. وَأَنْتَ حِلٌّ بِهَذَا الْبَلَدِ, and you, meaning Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, are free of restrictions in this city. So we did mention, yeah, that this relates to the struggles of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, meaning he went through so many oppression in this land. If anyone was to be free from struggles, if anyone was to be free from any source of labor, any source of deeds, it would have been Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But he went through many struggles that we can't even imagine. Yeah, so if he had to go through struggles, the kambagh mulaita, yeah, the kambagh mulay. Yeah, does that make sense? Ma Pashto, mashallah, upside down. But you are not any special. You will go through labor as well. You will work to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But what is وَأَنْتَ حِلٌّ? There is quite a few opinions. One of them is, as we said beginning, yeah, that everything was haram in there, to be harmed, to be touched, animals, trees and things like that. Even if it's the worst of your enemy, yeah, they have violated so many rights. If he is in haram, you're not allowed to touch. You will be doing tawaf, and the other guy, your enemy, will be doing tawaf. Well, you will be at peace. You will not be touching the guy. Yeah, this is the situation of the haram. So that was for the people, everyone. Yeah, they maintained that custom throughout. But as soon as Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam started, the policy changed. Everything changed. Rasul or the Sahaba, they used to get tortured right in front of the Kaaba. Yeah, so this is meaning they have made your abuse halal basically. Does that make sense? وَأَنْتَ حِلٌّ, meaning they have made your abuse halal. Is that understood? Is that a point? Okay. Next is that وَأَنْتَ حِلٌّ, mean you will be allowed to fight in this land, in this place for a little while, which is Fath Makkah. Meaning it is referring to that point. Meaning you will come later on, you will be able to conquer this, and you will be given permission for certain time that you can fight in this area. And another is, it is that you are inhabitant of this land. So hillun will be like sakinun, meaning you are as free as everyone else in this land. وَأَنْتَ حِلٌّ بِهَذَا الْبَلَدِ. I think the first one is more related to the thing, which is that they have made your abuse halal in this land. Now, what was this city built for? What was the purpose of it? We can look through the dua of Ibrahim alayhi salam, but we don't have time to explain it quickly, to explain in great detail, so we'll do it quickly. Yeah. So one of the reason that Ibrahim alayhi salam moved his family to this locality is to remove his family from any effects of polytheism that's happening in his area. So his family can nourish in a vicinity which is free from all sorts of evil behavior basically. And this is from our behavior as well. Yeah, a Muslim should look for a place where his family is protected from filth. Yeah, you're living in one part of the city, you know there are drug dealers in there, there are what they call it, pings or pimps pings those things are out there and things like that. So what are you going to do? You're going to just chill out, you're going to relax and then enjoy the ride? No, you will move out, you will need to migrate and things like that. Yeah. So this is we take from there. So this place was chosen because it was best place for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Tawheed basically. So this was one reason for it. Another is that he made dua that this place be made the hub of Tawheed basically. This is from his dua, that his progeny continues and they worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this various place. And of the other reason is that Ibrahim alayhi salam made dua for the people of this vicinity, that they have been given food and provision. So they are taking benefit of the dua of Ibrahim alayhi salam, but the actual mission, the actual purpose of the house was to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone, tawheed. And they made that place as a place of shirk. Like they say, and it comes in the various narrations or various seerahs, that there were more than 300 idols, 360 and so on. So that was a place of shirk rather than a place of tawheed. Meaning, look at the vision of the founder and those people who claim to be the followers of Ibrahim alayhi salam, meaning completely opposite situation of these people. Continue to the next ayah. Ayah number 3. وَوَالِدٍ وَمَا وَلَدَ, and the father and that which was born of him, in brackets. So they say, they have, or ulama again, they like to talk about everything. Yeah, in here they have said either a specific, meaning talking about Adam alayhi salam and all his children. This is one which is just general, meaning all generation. And the other is that it's talking about Ibrahim and Ismail alayhi salam, or it's talking about Ibrahim alayhi salam and Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam and so on. But these are, they're giving it specific. Yeah. And we will take it as general. It's talking about the entire humanity. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala hasn't specified it, so you wouldn't specify it. So it is talking about all, every single one. Like, look at the struggle of the father, how he struggled to provide for his family, through how many phases and situations they go through. You can look at your own fathers, yeah, those people who migrated to this land, and how many struggles that they have to go through in order to provide you and things like that. And they're still going through struggles, and they still do so many things, and they continue to do that. When you were a little baby, how many struggles your mom and your dad went through, and that continues, this passage. And then when they become weak, they become old, it is now your turn. You go through struggles, you look after them. But nowadays they have built like hospices, and they have built what they call it, old age houses, to remove themselves from this burden of conscience. Yeah, they have created Father's Day, Mother's Day, and this day and that day, just to say, yeah, we are doing something for parents, when in reality they're not doing anything. But what is a human being, the true human being? It is that they will have responsibility of either as a father or as a son. You will have responsibility, you will have struggles, you will have things that you need to look after each other in order to survive, basically. Going forward, لَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ فِي كَبَدٍ, we have certainly created man into hardship. So this is the jawab, this is the answer to the oaths, that all those things that have been mentioned, they are witness on this reality, that every single thing goes through struggle. It is not that someone can choose to go through struggle and others are safeguarded from it. It is not a choice. It is enforced on you, no matter who you are. No matter how big of a gun you are, or no matter how weak you are, no matter where you are living, whether you are living in a village, in a dump, or whether you are living in mansions upon mansions, wherever you are, you will be going through some sort of struggles. Like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has already mentioned this in previous surah. Ya ayyuhal insanu innaka kadihun ila rabbika kadhan famulaqih. O humanity, indeed you are laboring restlessly towards your Lord and will meet the consequences. So everyone are moving in one way or another. There are so many things that we could have mentioned, but we just want to mention one mufassir, and he gives a beautiful explanation to it. So we will just read that out. So concentrate, yeah? Don't go to sleep on it. It's very beautiful. So he talks about the journey of this human being, basically, which is applicable to every single human being. No one is safeguarded from it. So he says, no sooner does the first living cell settles in the mother's womb, then it starts to encounter afflictions, and it has to work hard in order to prepare for itself the right conditions for its survival. With the permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, of course, yeah. It continues to do so until it is ready for the process of birth, which is a great ordeal for both mother and baby. Before the baby finally sees the light, it undergoes a great deal of pushing and squeezing to the point of near suffocation in its passage out of the womb, basically. A stage of harder endurance and greater suffering follows. The newborn baby begins to breathe the air, which is a new experience. It opens its mouth and inflates its lungs for the first time with a cry, which tells the harsh start. The digestive system then it starts to function in a manner which is totally unfamiliar, as does blood circulation. Then it starts to empty its bowels, encountering great difficulties in adapting its system to this new function. Indeed, every new step or movement is attended by suffering. If one watches this baby when it begins to crawl and walk, one sees the kind of effort required to execute such minor and elementary movements. Such affliction continue with teething, with learning to stand, walk, learn and think. Indeed, in every new experience, much affliction is involved. So this applies to every single thing, yeah? It is not to a certain baby which is from poor land, yeah, or from poor family. It's every single baby. Then the roads diverges and the struggle takes different forms. One person struggles with his muscles, another with his mind, another with his soul. One toils for a mouthful of food or clothes to dress himself, another to double or treble his wealth. One person strives to achieve a position of power or influence, and another for the sake of Allah. One struggles for the sake of satisfying lust and desires, and another for the sake of his faith in ideology. One strives but to achieve no more than hell, and another strives for paradise. Everyone is carrying his own burden and climbing his own hill to arrive finally at the meeting place appointed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, where the wretched shall endure the worst suffering while the blessed enjoy the endless happiness. And there is a poetry. It says, अब तो घबरा के ये कहते हैं कि मर जाएंगे, मर के भी चैन ना पाया तो किधर जाएंगे. Now, to this meaning, yeah, get ready for the translation. Get ready for translation. They say, yeah, now when people are in some sort of worry and concern, they feel that they're going to die basically. Yeah, that's the worst fear. But now, if one dies and they still don't find any tranquility and peace, where are you going to go from there? Yeah, so it is a tough situation. And in here, one important point that is related to our situation basically, you can think about it. These struggles and these difficulties, this is actually a ni'mah from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because it, like, take example of those people who are employed and those people who are non-employed. Those people like in UK and things like that, yeah, you find very few people that they will have problems with their families, yeah, they will have problems with someone on the street and things like that, neighbor problems and things like that, yeah, very, very rarely. But in Pakistan, Afghanistan and those lands, you will even hate the dog on the street. Every conversation people have is ghiba and buhtan, how they're going to cause problems to other people. Because they are free, they don't have any other thing to do. So they will come together and they will talk rubbish and they in flames and things like that. So when people are unemployed, you will be able to see drug problems, you will see all sorts of filth, crimes, like those people who are people on benefits, yeah? You can take people on benefits. Look at their situation and those people who are working. They will be completely different. Benefits people are you need to stay away from, yeah, basically. So I hope you understand. So as long as you are busy, as long as you have something to do in the life, you will be aligned. You will have you will have a focus. Same thing. You are either employed to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, working to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and whether you have made yourself unemployed. You are employed to so many other things, but you have freed yourself from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so you will do all sorts of rubbish. There will be no leash on you whatsoever. Does that make sense? Are we here? Okay, continuing forward. There are so many things, but we'll just skip on. أَيَحْسَبُ أَن لَّن يَقْدِرَ عَلَيْهِ أَحَدٌ. And number 5, does he think that never will anyone overcome him? Yeah, look at the history, look at your land, those people who saw, yeah, like Allah gave the example of Thamud and Ad previously. Look at those people. Didn't Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wrath came on them? You look, those people who are living in the UK, look where they were before and where they are now. Look at your own history. No matter who you are, whether you want to look at the Khilafah, whether you want to look at the toughest of the kingdoms, how they crumble, how they came, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's wrath came on them. Yeah, so you can imagine, yeah, you basically, you will be blessed with things a certain time, you will have everything, but then later on, as the time passes by, you will be faced with famines, you will be faced with so many struggles, yeah, so many problems. Like you can take example of Turkey, yeah, recently. How they were those lands in those areas, they would be enjoying and think whatever they were doing, yeah. But certainly a little quake came in, everything is now changed. Those people are struggling, those people are homeless, these people are in need. Yeah, they need to be fed. Rather, they used to feed other people. So the situation changes suddenly. Meaning the armies of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are around you all time. They can come in any way, shape and form. It does not have to be in fire from the sky or splitting of the earth. It could be just a small thing where inflation happens. It could be just a small thing where you hit a rock on the street and you fall and now your leg is not working, you cannot play football and you cannot do so many. These are all some sort of tests, these are all some sort of warning and threats that you come back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You are always in the sight of Allah. You are never far away from the armies of Allah. Does that make sense? Or another example that people give, yeah, like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who has created you, yeah. You create a house, you build a house, you do a construction. Is the construction part harder or the one where you destroy it? Destroying is easy, man. It's the opposite of being awake as well, yeah. So the the destruction is easy, yeah. So Allah has created you, Allah has fashioned you, Allah has given you these abilities and everything like that, yeah. He can take it away in a glance, as we have seen it on so many occasions. Going forward, يقول أهلكت مالا لبدا. And number 6, he says, I have spent wealth in abundance. Yeah, so out of arrogance, out to show off. Yeah, the previous ayah mentioned the aqidah basically. Yeah, the guy who believes what he believes concerning Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, meaning, yeah, he has a low idea with regards to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This, and now here is his actions. He comes out with his tongue, he comes out and says whatever he says. Or these are those people who do PR stunt basically, yeah. They will spend in some sort of masajid, yeah, they will be like community leaders, they will be some sort of leaders, they will spend, they will work and they will do some sort of struggle, and then he will make sure that everyone is aware of this. He will raise his voice, he will raise anywhere in the meeting or anywhere in the some sort of agenda comes in, yeah, this guy will be there, you know, and they will bring it somehow, yeah. Like I give you example of a person who he telling me very nice watch, and then he tells you the entire history how he got to this watch, and he will make you count everything, yeah. So same thing is this situation of this person. When you tell them to spend in the path of Allah, Allah has given to you, spend it. And this guy will come, he has already spent on so many things. In the place where you're standing, he has spent in there as well. Yeah, things like that. So you'll be like, yeah, mashallah, this guy is the guy. And there is another Sheikh, yeah, Maulana Sindhi. I like to quote him because he's very relevant. He says that this is more, it's also related to those politicians that say that we will do this, we will do this, but when it comes to the reality later on, there is nothing. So it's like all PR stunts. So they will give long, big speeches, but in the reality there is nothing. This will now relate to every single person. It will relate to Rahman here, yeah, giving lots of speeches about things and so on, but in the reality there is zero things in his life. They will relate to every imam who sits on a member, give amazing speeches and things like that. But now when it comes to his reality, there is nothing. Meaning it is just shallow stuff. It does not have any value. And the other thing we related to this, that those people who spend, yeah, they say they spend. They have spent. The so far we mentioned is those people who haven't spent, but maybe the little things that they did, yeah, they think they are something huge. Yeah, basically this is one mentality. And the other people who do spend, yeah, like they will spend millions in like milads, they will spend millions on julus, they will spend millions on pirs, they will spend millions on graves, decorating graves and things like that, yeah, those kind of places. But when you ask them, yeah, have you spent in the path of Allah, they will say, we have already done this, look at this, and that situation, they will give you the points, yeah, that we have spent it on these many graves and we have decorated whatever, yeah. So meaning they have spent it in the wrong places. They have spent it in place of bid'ats, basically, in the wrong places, which is not appreciated by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Meaning you spend it in the path of Allah so you can go closer to Allah, not to go far away from Allah and take other people away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Does that, the point make sense, yeah? So meaning wrong places. All are vain, it's not going to have any benefit whatsoever. Ayah number 7. أَيَحْسَبُ أَن لَمْ يَرَهُ أَحَدٌ. Does he think that no one has seen him? Yeah, like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala calls him out. Or sometime those people, yeah, who say they have spent a lot, this poor person who is standing in there, yeah, he'll be looking at this guy and he knows that the guy hasn't done anything. So he knows what is the guy saying, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is calling him out. That Allah knows what you are doing, and Allah knows how much you have spent and how much you meant to spend. Meaning you are not hidden away. Do not think that you can say things, you can give this PR stunt, you deceive the people and you're going to deceive Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the same fashion. No, it is not how it works. Or another way of understanding is that those people who have been given wealth and they spend a little in the path of Allah, yeah, and they think when their wealth is increasing and so on, they'll say that Allah has, this is the blessing, special blessing of Allah, we do not have to spend. Basically their mentality is that it is like a choice for them to either spend or not spend, and they will consider that no sorts of calamities have come on us, there are no illnesses, there are no problems in our family, there are no problems in our businesses and things like that, meaning Allah is happy with us the way we're doing our dealing, meaning He is okay. By this Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, do not let the respite of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala deceive you. Do not let this mercy of Allah, that His wrath hasn't come on you straight away, which is from the Sunnah of Allah, yeah, like we have discussed this, that everything in the kingdom of Allah happens in gradual, it does not happen suddenly, yeah, like the birth, like the seed, and that it grows and it reaches a ultimate place after a long time. Same thing with the wrath of Allah, same thing with the punishment of Allah, same thing with the rahmah of Allah, it gradually happens. So do not think that you are doing crimes and you are receiving some sort of lots of wealth and things like that, that Allah is happy with you. This is a respite. This is just the sunnah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You haven't been, like we said, the previous surah, yeah, this ikram, this honor is not in the wealth, it is in the taqwa. Going forward, أَلَمْ نَجْعَلْ لَهُ عَيْنَيْنِ. Have we not made for him 2 eyes? So Allah has blessed them with wealth and status, yeah, on the other, so they can see basically, yeah, like how do we relate it to the previous surah? A person who has been given, no, previous ayat, person who has given lots of wealth, yeah, so many things, but this guy maybe does not have any conscience, his brain doesn't work, yeah, and there is no one around him that he sees of in need and so on, then maybe this guy is okay if he uses the wealth in other halal way, yeah, that would make sense. However, under your nose, basically, with your eyes, you see people going through suffering, people going through so many issues, but you're still not helping out with your wealth that Allah has given to you, with the wealth of Allah, basically, you're not still giving that out. Yeah, you're not utilizing the ni'mat that Allah has given you, these blessings, these eyes that you could see with, but you're still not, meaning you misusing these eyes. You have been blinded, you have blinded yourself rather than seeing the things with open, basically, yeah. وَلِسَانًا وَشَفَتَيْن, and a tongue and 2 lips. So, in the previous surah, in the previous ayah, after seeing and feeling the deprivation around him, the issues, he not only takes practical steps to rectify the issues. This is the behavior of a Muslim, that he will do things with his own hands, with his own eyes, use his eyes, spend his wealth and things like that. But rather with his tongue, he will call other people to it as well. You're meant to be a guide, you're meant to be a light. But rather, you don't not doing it yourself, and you use your tongue to deprive, you use your tongue to stop the good message, basically. And the ulama give example of this tongue, yeah, like what this tongue is. The more something more important it is, the more protection it is given to. So this tongue is very important. So that's why you have the 2 lips that it protects it. And the other ulama say this tongue is like a sword, and the 2 lips, they are like the leash, the thing that is you put the sword in, yeah. So this is what it is. So this tongue you can use to go closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You call people to spend in the cause of Allah, you call people to spend on the poor, you call people to spend, yeah, basically. Or you can use that same tongue to elevate yourself and discourage other people as well, and do whatever you can do with this tongue basically, yeah. So you can, it's like a double-edged sword. You use it for Allah or you use it against yourself and cut yourself with it. Ayah number 10. وَهَدَيْنَاهُ النَّجْدَيْنِ, and have shown him the two ways. So there are lots of talking here, but we have very limited time. We go back, how much time? Okay, so two ways. What are two ways? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, إِنَّا هَدَيْنَاهُ السَّبِيلَ إِمَّا شَاكِرًا وَإِمَّا كَفُورًا. The two ways, meaning you either become grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, recognize Allah, or you do whatever you do with your life. So this is that way. Or like we might be able to study this later on. In وَالشَّمْسِ, yes, coming later, next. وَنَفْسٍ وَمَا سَوَّاهَا فَأَلْهَمَهَا فُجُورَهَا وَتَقْوَاهَا. And by the soul and who fashioned it. Then with the knowledge of, yeah, right and wrong inspired it. So if a person does evil, it is not because he does not possess the awareness of good and evil. It is because he is overcome by emotion, knowing full well that this is wrong. Yeah, like someone who does crimes, those people who steal, those people who cheat, those people who go against Allah subhanahu, those people, these atheists and everyone, they will know internally that they are on wrong. Yeah, they have the capabilities, they have the capacities in their system that they can recognize, but still they choose the wrong path. Meaning Allah has inspired, Allah has given you the systems, like we talked about the 4 hidayats, yeah, the 4 different guidances in one of the surahs previously. These are put in you, these are available to you, but you are the one who is misusing it. So meaning you are responsible for your own ways. وَأَن لَيْسَ لِلْإِنسَانِ إِلَّا مَا سَعَى. And that each person will only have what they endeavor towards. So you will be held accountable for your deeds. And this surah and the previous surah, those people who wants to study a bit, if you go to Surah Najm from ayah 39 all the way till the end, you will be able to understand both surahs very beautifully. It is explained in a very nice fashion. Okay, what is Najd? We don't have time, but we'll leave it here. This is like basically a path which is on elevated land other than mountains. So they say it's a smooth path. It is on elevated land, but it's a smooth path. It is related to the next point. So وَهَدَيْنَاهُ النَّجْدَيْنِ. So this path which is on an uphill basically, when you are walking on it, you are walking on a hill, you will get tired, yeah, at the end of the day when you walk for a little while. Same thing, this person who is going through the life of this dunya, he's going to become old, so he's going to become weak. Yeah, this is one way of understanding. The other way, when you are standing with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala again and again competing against shaitan and so on, this enemy of yours will become old. Shaitan will become old and you will become strong. Does that make sense? So both ways you can link it, either with the age, the life of this dunya, or your shaitan. So either it could be your akhirah or could be with dunya basically. Both ways you can understand. Going forward, ayah number 11. فَلَقَتَحَمَ الْعَقَبَةِ. But he has not broken through the difficult path. What is aqaba? They say that it means hill, high place, or a steep road, or they say this is like between valley. So this aqaba is used at times when people attack you, like enemy comes in, so you can either go up the hill to the mountain or you can come down, you can protect yourself. Same thing, a person can safeguard himself from the wrath of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala if they break through the aqaba. So just as it saves man from an enemy, righteous deed saves man from the punishment of the hereafter. Now, like we said, فَلَقْتَحَمَ الْعَقَبَ النَّجْدَيْنِ, yeah, وَهَدَيْنَاهُ النَّجْدَيْنِ. There is so much talk in these ayat, yeah. When I cut it down, that's why it breaks the rhythm. But it'll just give you one basically. Now this aqaba relates to a path which is hard to go on, yeah, like it is carved and is turned and so on. Like you are walking with the family in a street when a smooth path, even though it's elevated, yeah, and the other one is like bend and there is like so many things that you need to go over, hills and valleys and things like that. They will stop you from that one and they tell you, why don't you just go on this, yeah, this straight path, basically straight path meaning uphill. So same will come the situation, like you will have situation, and again the mortgage, yeah, it makes sense. It is easy for you to understand. You have a simple choice to do. You go mortgage, take mortgage, you will be your rent will be less, and at the end of so many years you will have the house. And you take this difficult path, which is renting a house. You're not going to have a house. You will always have insecurity. You will always be looking for another house, and your rent will be increasing. You'll be paying lots of money, and you'll be maybe paying more in 25 and 26 years and so on than the person who is giving the mortgage. So which one is easy path? Which one is the harder path? So the family and those people around you and so on, they will push you onto mortgage, which is easy in that sense. And aqabah, which is a difficult path. You meant to choose the difficult path. And it comes, and there's so many, there is a hadith related to this. It comes, Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam have narrated to have said, he says, حُفَّتِ الْجَنَّةِ بِالْمَكَارِهِ وَحُفَّتِ النَّارِ بِالشَّهَوَاتِ. The paradise is surrounded by hardship, and the hellfire is surrounded by temptation in Muslim. And it comes in Bible. Shall I tell you Bible quote? Yeah. And there's Matthew. In there it says, enter through the narrow gate, for wide is the gate and broad is the road that leads to destruction, and many enter through it. Meaning talking about the wider, big gate, yeah. But small is the gate and narrow the road that leads to life, and only a few find it. Is that here? Are we here? Like, look, yeah, just give you a worldly example so you can understand. There are very few people that like interpret, what they call it, these people who become successful. These people choose, look at their life, they will choose the toughest of decisions. They will go through so many difficult issues. They will stand up against so many things before they reach this high stage in the dunya. Yeah, they will go through many situations. They will be ready to sacrifice all their wealth. They will be ready, like Elon Musk, what his name is. Yeah, you can look at his interview where he was doing this space thing. Yeah, the guy was nearly broke or something like that. There are some people like NASA or someone had to come to help him out, otherwise he was gone. Yeah, so these are the people that are ready to sacrifice everything that they have for what they want to achieve, for their goal race, basically. Yeah, so they have a certain thing, so they will choose the hard path, and then you can see them where they are. Same thing with the Muslim. You will see so many difficult situations. In the reality, they're easy, but because of the environment, because of the surrounding you are in, it has become hard. Otherwise, it hits home when you do the good things, even if it's hard. And it does not hit home. It only brings anxiety. It only brings stresses if you do the easy, yeah, easy in the world sense, yeah, but it is wrong. Does that make sense? Like one can do, sell drugs, yeah, drugs, easy money, bring money home, that's it. Yeah, you have a deal with police sometimes as well. I don't know if it works in here or no. You get easy money, simple as that. Or you can work in a security job 7 days a week, yeah, and then you will still have less money than this drug leader who only works 1 day a week for 1 hour in a specific spot. Does that make sense? But this guy, the drug leader, his life will be miserable. And this guy who works in the security, will be content with what he is doing, even though he's doing a difficult work, even though he is going through many struggles. But he will be content. He will be happy with what he is earning. The other guys will have insecurity. The other guys will always be in fear. He will be expecting to be next day in jail and things like that. Someone will snitch on him and so many things, yeah, basically. Have you understood the point? Okay, so we have to break the difficult path. Continuing forward, Allah gives you what are some of the things basically. وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا الْعَقَبَةِ. So this is like emphasis, yeah. And what can make you know what is the difficult path? Meaning such a question posed to express the majesty, to express the importance of something. This is Allah tells you some of them, yeah. فَكُّ رَقَبَةِ. It is the freeing of a slave, yeah. This is the road, this what entails. These are some of the things that you need to encounter in order to break through. So how is it related to us basically? Because we don't have any slaves and so on. The real slaves. So one, of course, it relates to the actual slaves, that you free them from a master and things like that. Other, it relates to the political slavery. Yeah, people are to this group that they will have to give vote to Labour, or they have to give vote to these guys, and if they don't, then there will be some sort of things like, yeah, they are kind of they have put their mind under these leaders. Or in Pakistan, yeah, they have to give it to Nawaz Sharif, they have to give it to Imran Khan. Yeah, these are the people, even no matter how what they have done, they do not care. But they have this slaveryhood kind of attitude to these parties that they believe in. So this is this is one kind of slavery you take out. Another is those people who are in religious groups, Barelvis, or these Deobandis, or any sects basically. They say that this is the only path. Whoever is Hanafi, he is going to Jannah, everyone else is misguided. That kind of mentality. Anyone who is Shafi'i, he is on the right, everyone else has lost the plot kind of situation. You take out people from these slavery who are in a group of people. Bring them back to Quran, bring them back to Sunnah. So this is another. Slavery of human being we have mentioned here, of financial. People who are, so much burden has been put on them. They're struggling. They are in debt. They are in other situations. You come and free them from these financial burdens. You help them out in their debt. Yeah, you have given money to someone, the guy is struggling, he's working a lot, he is even hurting his own health and his family situation just to pay you. You can help the guy out basically. You can free him from this burden. Or free the guy from abuse. People who are going through abuse, bullying, all those things are related. People are going through anxiety, stress. All those are you freeing someone neck from that. And there is an interesting point that some ulama mention, that in here it says fakku raqabah, yeah? And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in a place, Inna Allah kana alaykum raqiba. Surely Allah is ever watchful over you. So what is this raqiba? They are like from the same root. Like they give raqib in Arabic is a shepherd who looks after the sheep, and sometime one of the sheep who is being naughty and is like doing everything, is about to fall off from the hill, and is grabbed by the collar and then been sorted out. Like, this is the way. Like, go that way, yeah? It's that kind of situation. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does the same to you. He sends you Quran, He sends you guidance, He sends you hints, He sends you warning, He sends you threats, so you can come out before you fall into the hill. Does that make sense? Is that understood? So Allah is freeing you from these things, so you do as well. You free other people who are in your capacity. Going forward, ayah number 14. There are so many things, yeah, so many things. Then go 5 minutes. How are we going to do it? أو إطعام في يوم ذي مسغبة, or feeding on a day of severe hunger. There are so many things with this, yeah. But this you can relate you to helping someone out with financial, the people who are going through inflations, yeah, like nowadays people are going through inflation, there are hunger, people are going so many situations. Or they even relate you to, if someone dies, yeah, in someone's house, you're meant to send food to them because they are going through a painful situation, so you help them out. This is a day of hunger for them, so you help out. This is one. But it relates to everything. You see people are in need, yeah, you need to help those people out. And they relate this, like the previous one is your thing with your hands. You do things with your own capacity. You come out and take people out with slavery and things like that, yeah, take them out. If you cannot do that, sit at home, but do some social work, meaning spend your money, send money to those people who are in need, basically. Continuing forward. يَتِيمًا ذَا مَقْرَبَةٍ, an orphan of near relationship. If you cannot do that either, yeah, you can come back to your own family. Just think, ponder over your own situation, your near kith and kin, spend on them. Take them out from difficulties, take them out from issues, help them out, basically, yeah. The difference between a human and an animal, a Muslim and a non-Muslim, is completely different. These Muslim, the animal, yeah, what are the similarities basically? They only think about their own survival, how they're going to survive, basically. This is the actual motive. The kuffar are on the same level, yeah, or they have gone, even the animals have some sort of mercy on the around them, yeah. These people, they don't. Their only motive is that they're going to survive, how they're going to achieve, how they're going to get the situation. Muslim is not like this. Muslim will think about around him, how this brother of mine, how these people in my family, these near kin and kith, these Muslims around me, these neighbors, these localities that I'm living, how they can come out from the struggles, How can I help them out? This is the motive. This is the mentality of a Muslim, that he is concerned with surrounding. It is not just him. It is not just me, yeah, that you must have heard. It is not just about you. It relates to everyone else. You will affect. If you do not, you are in khusran, like we have studied this. And there is hadith with regards to helping out those people who are from your kin and kith and they're weak. It comes in a hadith, إن الصدقة على المسكين صدقة وعلى ذي الرحمة وعلى ذي الرحمة اثنتان صدقة وصلة. Giving charity to a poor person is charity, and giving it to a relative is two things: charity and upholding the ties of kinship, meaning you're looking after your near kin and kith. Continuing forward, and number 16, أو مسكينا ذا متربة, or a needy person in misery. So who they are? Ibn Abbas رضي الله عنه who says ذا متربة هو المطروح في الطريق الذي لا بيت له ولا شيء يقيه من التراب. Ibn Abbas رضي الله عنه said, who has been narrated to have said, yeah, because we don't know how true things are sometimes. ذا متربة is that who is dejected in the street and who has no house or anything else to protect him against the dirt. So these are basically homeless, a person who does not have any place to sleep, maybe have lots of dependents, basically too many children, things like that, and they're struggling to survive. So help those people out, look after those people. And you need these people that have been mentioned so far. Before we go to the last few these people that have been mentioned, like, do you see the ikram that has been mentioned earlier, yeah, in the other surah? They consider themselves to have honor if they have wealth. This is completely opposite of the reality. These pious people who break through, who do they help? These are nobodies. They're not going to help them out whatsoever in the future. There are those people who are completely homeless, or those people who are orphans, they are weak in the society. They're not going to be clapping them. They're not going to be giving them a cause and things like that, salutation and things. Nothing. They're not receiving any source of praise. They're not receiving any PR for it. Yeah? Does that make sense? So these are, they know the reality of the wealth. They know what is ikram basically. They do not see ikram in the wealth. They see ikram in honoring Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's orders. Does that make sense? Is that understood? Okay. Going forward, ayah number 17, which requires lots of time, but inshallah we'll try to bring it down. ثم كان من الذين آمنوا وتواصوا بالصبر وتواصوا بالمرحمة. And then being among those who believed and advised one another to patience and advised one another to compassion. Okay, one may ponder over why the iman has been mentioned later, yeah? Even the other good deeds are mentioned early, like fakku raqaba, helping the freeing the slaves, giving food to the needy, looking after the orphans and things like that. They are good deeds. But would they have any value if a person does not have iman? No, they are all nullified. They will get some sort of goodness in this dunya for it, and people will be saying, mashallah, this guy is, well, his mother Teresa, things like that. Yeah, they are still receiving these kind of thing. Yeah, they are receiving some sort of goodness in this dunya. In akhirah, free of anything goodness. So why iman has been mentioned later? Yeah, this causes a problem. First of all, the main subject of the surah, it's talking about sila rahma, looking after the weak. So of course that has been mentioned early. So it relates to the actual surah. So that's why they have been mentioned early. I mean, everyone are struggling, everyone are doing something. So you need to struggle, you need to look after the people, basically. So that's the reason. Another, like how a farmer, when he wants to grow some sort of things, what is he going to do first? What is he going to do with the land? He's going to soften it, yeah? He's going to plow it. He's going to do everything with the land, making sure before he puts the seed in there, the land is ready. Same thing with the human heart. You need to have humanity. You need to have humanity before the iman, the light spreads in you. Your fitrah needs to be still intact. When the Quran, when the Islam is presented to you, then it will grow in you. Otherwise, it is like putting seed on top of a rock. Yeah, it's not going to. Yeah, these are the order. Another thing with this, yeah, those people who pray 5 times praying, Hajj, Tabligh, halaqat of Quran and so on, mashallah, yeah, khatams of Quran, so many, yeah, those mentality kind of guys, and they expect to go Jannah while their situation with the people are completely opposite. They haven't given the rights of the people, they haven't given the rights of their parents, the kids, the neighbors, all the Muslims basically, yeah, حقوق العباد. It is a criterion for your iman. If you iman with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, yes, of course, it's aqidah basically, yeah. But the next part, وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ, it is related to that. If these deeds, you want is عَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ, meaning in the a'mal of which is related to religion, but the other deeds which is related to looking after the people. If that's not there, you do whatever you do. You continue to do whatever you do, you will be still failure in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is joined together. It's not going to be work out like we have discussed this in Surah Ma'un, فَوَيْلِ لِلْمُصَلِّينَ. And of course there are many things, but what we just mentioned, yeah, what is, start from the beginning, the few things that has been mentioned, آمَنُوا وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْمَرْحَمَةِ. 3 things have been mentioned, yeah. So what is آمَنُوا basically? So you believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this is one, and you will do all the good deeds. This is together with amanu, yeah, believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if someone says you have lost all your wealth, you have received abuse because you have stood in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the rights of the weak and so on, yeah, now people are calling you evil monger, a toxic in the society and things like that. What are you going to do? You're going to do وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ. You're going to stand firm. Ooh. Like I couldn't stand firm to this, yeah. Unlike this, you need to stand firm to difficulties. Is that understood? Yeah, sometimes this Allah brings things, situations, so you can be woken up. Yeah? So you will stand firm, like how a tree who is ready, who is able to stand all sorts of winds. Yeah, if the true roots are deep inside. So your iman in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be strong. You will do deeds for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you will be ready to face all sorts of situations basically. So this is what وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ. And remember, we said this, yeah, it is no sabr that you calm in times of when people are doing crimes. Yeah, it's okay. We need to show a smile on the face. Yeah, that no. This a smile or a happy situation and ignoring things, this is not from sabr, yeah. These are, we said, what is it? بِغِيرَتِي, yeah. بِغِيرَتِي, remember this. It is a بِغِيرَتِي. It is such a thing that English language does not have proper translation for it. Yeah, so these people, like how they are free from it, same thing, the language is free from it. وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ. Then it relates to next point. وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ. This is now you calling people to compassion. So you want to have people, you need to have a group of people, you need to work in a team basically. You will stand up, you will stay firm within the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you will call other people, and you will not show. And وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْمَرْحَمَةِ. What is the greatest of rahmah one can do? You call people to compassion. What kind of the best rahmah you can do on people? To call them towards Allah. This is the best of rahmah. Call people toward Quran. So you will remain in this. You will fulfill the rights of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by calling them. Keep on calling them. And if anything comes in the way, you will stand firm. Yeah? Does that make sense? So it comes together in that fashion. Ayah number 19. وَالَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا بِآيَاتِنَا هُمْ أَصْحَابُ الْمَشَامَةِ. But they who disbelieve in our signs, those are the companions of the left. Even though there are so much, again, always there are so many things to say. But what is ayah basically? Ayat. One is the ayat of the Quran itself, and the ayats that you see in the poor people, the needy and so on. You neglected them, you rejected them, you did not help them out. So you rejected Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by that. Or you rejected the ayats of Quran that calls you toward Allah subhanahu to call you toward good deeds. You rejected in either way. Either the actual live ayat or the actual ayat which are in the theory in front of you. So both way it works. Again, this ayah, yeah, mash'amah, it says it comes out from shimal, which is left, which we have, which has been done in, it has come in Surah Haqa again. I don't think it has in Surah Shiqaq. There is from the behind. Haqa. وَأَمَّا مَنْ أُوتِي كِتَابِ بِشِمَالِ فَيَقُولُ يَا لَيْتَنِي لَمْ أُوتَ كِتَابِيَهْ. And there it comes. And the other is, they say shu'um, which is, shu'um is, they say it is someone who receives misfortune or ill-fated basically. I mean, these people are not to be around. The other one was honored, Yamin, human, and this one is completely opposite. Ayah number, last ayah. عَلَيْهِمْ نَارٌ مُؤْصَلَةٌ. Over them will be fire closed in. So eternal abode, no escape for them, fire covering from all direction. Like you thought, no one is seeing you, yeah, in this dunya. This was the situation, yeah, of these criminals. Now Allah subhanahu does not want to see you whatsoever. You are completely removed. You are careless of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You are totally removed from the care of Allah now as well. You chose to be arrogant and haughty. Now feel the wrath of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Al-Muhaymin al-Aziz al-Jabbar al-Mutakabbir. Yeah, it requires explanation, but it is like the opposite. You wanted to be this in this dunya. Now you will see the true essence of this pride that you had. You didn't follow the path of Allah sent. Yeah. Now Allah closed all sorts of paths to you. Yeah, closed in. You didn't stand under the shade of Islam, the flag of Islam in this dunya, and you stood under your whims and desires. Now there will be no shade for you whatsoever. No shades. Good ask one as well. And in this surah, there are three conditions that ulama mention, that are mentioned for the islah, for rectification of a village or a balad, a place. Few minutes, yeah? We'll finish it quickly, inshallah. The ayah number 4. In here, he said, لَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ فِي كَبَدٍ. So the leader of the balad, he needs to be a person who gives all. He needs to be mihnati, he needs to be, what's mihnati in English? Hard-working person, yeah? That's what it needs to be. Number 2, it is in ayah number 13 and 14, that whatever wealth that has been gathered together, it has to be spent in its rightful places. And the last one is ayah number 17, that this person, this leader, or the people, or the time, they need to have patience, and they should not lose a school when people are saying evil things. Yeah, they are saying bura bala. Yeah, they shouldn't be standing and they're like, yeah, that's it, I have given up. This is your leadership. You do whatever you want to do with it. I'm free from it. That's not going to be the situation. You need to be firm. You need to stand your ground, basically. Okay, now link the beginning and the ending. So this is basically your journey will continue. If Allah's warning are not taken seriously, even though enough emphasis have been put, like he says, لَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ فِي لَا أُقْسِمُ بِهَذَا الْبَلَدِ, and so on. These emphasis have been put. So you will be moved from this balad, from this house that you're living in this area, to another balad, which is alayhim narun mu'sara. So another abode, which is going to be a tough abode if you do not take any heed. Another, in insana fi kabadiya, everyone is laboring restlessly. And at the end, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells you the two types of people. Those people who labor in a good place, and those people who labor in the wrong places. Their results are given out at the end of the surah. So لَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ فِي كَبَدٍ. The first ayah that has been mentioned after the oaths, which is the reason for the oaths, the results of it is in the end of the surah. So all surah is beautifully coherent, and this surah is amazing. It's beautiful, but we haven't given it its rights. And may Allah forgive us for these shortcomings. Jazakallah khair for coming. May Allah keep you with Quran. May Allah honor you with Jannatul Firdaus, like He has honored you to come here and sit in front of Quran. بارك الله لي ولكم في القرآن العظيم ونفعني وإياكم بالآيات والذكر الحكيم.